Hello, everyone, and welcome to RHAP's coverage of Australian Survivor Titans v Rebels. I'm your host, Shannon Guss, here with some special coverage, a check-in, which is, I don't know, check-in's just the terminology we use for things that aren't officially the recap. Everything's starting to blend into itself, but this is something a bit different that we haven't done before. I thought, let me ask my lovely drafters who are watching Australian Survivor, because they're always so nice to me. And I thought, wow, I'm going to want to get in touch with these people and talk to them about Australian Survivor because, again, they're just so kind to me, and in return being so kind to them. So let's bring them in, possibly in order of niceness to me. Let's do that. First, let's start with the person right next to me. One I always love to talk to, and I'm not even being sarcastic in saying that. She's the host of the B&B, so many other things here on RHAP. It is the great Liana Boraas. Liana, how are you?
I'm doing well, Shannon. Thank you. Yes. Okay, good. I don't want to be lumped in with these hooligans down here. Okay. Look, you and I, we got this. Thank you so much. I have not stopped thinking about this season since I started watching. So this is the perfect opportunity. I have been looking forward to this all week.
I'm so excited that you're excited and
I'm so excited,
everyone's
Shannon.
so excited about Australian Survivor. Now it's hard for me. Do I introduce an order of niceness? Tough. Very, very hard. But I think that I will go with someone who is the host of Traders coverage here on RHAP. So many other things as well. I can't give all the plugs for you guys. It's too much. But it is a great Pooya. Pooya, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Shannon. I must echo what Liana's saying. I think low-key, and this might come off hyperbolic, this is my favorite season I've watched of any Survivor. I've been loving every bit of it. Yeah. It is phenomenal. It's been a good time. You're telling me 21 episodes and pretty much all of them have been bangers. That is hard to come by. Okay. And I'm very excited to be joined with you, Shannon. You are truly the Kelly of my life. So I'm very happy to have you here with me.
Kind of wanting to switch the order.
I was going to say, yeah.
Off the bat. Although I do love Kelly and she is sending me a shirt, I think. I don't think I gave
exactly.
Her my address, yeah.
Where's my Chizzy shirt, Shannon? Send me a shirt.
Would you rather have a Chizzy shirt or a what does it say? Don't get tempted by his big juicy apple Snow White shirt, which is what I asked for in black. Kelly, did you get my address? I don't know if you...
you didn't get the I pause my game to be here shirt?
No, that's Raymond's shirt. Does Raymond have merch? I'm not super sure. Yeah.
Or what about the Untitled Goose Game? There's like so many good t-shirts. That's what I'm saying. This season is iconic all the way down to the t-shirts.
I did have my kitty merch that I didn't wear. It's just a plain black t-shirt.
Oh, is that what she was wearing?
It should have been purple.
Kitty has been invisible. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Guys, if we never introduce Chappell, I've never been in the power position to do this. Does he just never get to talk and we just do the podcast without him? Because
he just sits there.
Sounds kind of enjoyable. We'll trap him in the corner. Now let's do it. Let's introduce the host of Too Many Things. Recap Kickback, Dondi. Club Condo. Welcome here. You're allowed to talk. Well, you are
Hi. Listen, I was gonna talk anyway because I'm a rebel. That's why you brought me here, okay? Amongst these Titans, I'm happy to be the only rebel representation here, and thank you for having me. I push back on the idea that I am not the nicest person to you here because should we pull up the receipts, Shannon? I say nice things to you all the time. You just say mean things back. Yeah, and you hate that I'm so nice to you. Just admit it.
I mean, none of that comes to mind for me. But,
should I bring it up? Because I definitely have the tweet. Should I? Because I will.
What?
I believe one time you said, "Why are you so nice to me? It makes it hard to be mean to you." That you don't recall?
Because I'm so hard on myself all the time. And then
no, don't make this about you. We're talking about how nice I am to you, Shannon. We're the natural duo here, okay? I'm Kitty. You're Alex. That's what this is. I'm your Kitty.
I'm your Kitty. Why would you go to Kitty, Alex, and Duo? You had Kirby and Ferris right there.
Actually, but that's us. That's me and Liana right here. That's us.
No, we're a different pair. Yeah, we're a different pair here.
Okay.
We're the secret best friends.
So, Pooya and Liana, you shouldn't be Kirby and Ferris. You should be like, I don't know, there's no duo tight enough to speak to your marriage. Everything's been way too fractured. But I guess Kitty and Caroline would be better, or... I mean,
no, Kitty literally left Caroline and then came back. Ain't no way.
You're Kirby and Reed. You're Kirby and Reed. You would give.
They had a little bit.
They did have a little bit, but Leon, I can see you giving Pooya your immunity. You know,
yeah, that's right. I'm Kirby in this. Yes, I am.
Kirby and Reed.
Obviously.
Reddit. Yeah,
obviously.
So,
Obviously.
I mean, Chappell, we should be Kirby and Ferris. I called Kirby Ferris's nemesis.
Nemesis. You're definitely
I
That's
really
cute.
like that.
No, that sounds great. You could be my nemesis. That's fine. I'm about to change your name in my phone, contact information. Nemesis.
Do you have my contact information? I feel like we could be marking Caroline. Really, this is the season I feel of like very fractured duos. It's not the Liana Pooya duos of Australian Survivor. I would be worried for you guys if you could compare yourself to any Raymond Ferris. No, even he does not.
No, maybe Raymond Ferris, right? Maybe Raymond Ferris. Of course, the question is who's who.
I mean, I'm Ferris.
I know you are.
Y'all keep why is everyone attacking me? I've been quiet.
We all know.
You know. That's my girl. She knows.
Yeah. Well, okay. Should I host this podcast? Yeah. What are we doing? Let's talk about the season because you guys are enjoying it so much. Liana, you've been so excited for this. What do you love about the season? Hype us up about why you're hyped.
Okay, I'll tell you why I love it so much. I think that it keeps me on my toes in a way that I just sometimes don't get from seasons. And I think that it's a combination of the cast itself, the interactions between people, the fractures between the relationships that you think are super solid, then end up falling apart, then end up coming back together. And I think that ebb and flow, that back and forth makes it so exciting from a pure gameplay perspective. And then I think on top of that, to have characters that you're actually interested and invested in and care about so much just makes for the perfect season. And I think I saw this comment on Reddit most recently that was like to have almost like the 4 leaders of the 4 main alliances in the pre-jury still here at the final freaking 5. Like that's absolutely it feels so unheard of. And I think that that's the main reason why, the major reasons why I'm enjoying this season just so much. And then of course there's a million little things that we can get into, but I would say broad strokes, that's really what I'm enjoying the most.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm always like, the show's not scripted. How much do we as Survivor fans have to fight against? They're not in hotels. They're not scripted for the people who don't know. And then Mark, Caroline, Kirby, and Ferris make it to the final 5. And you're like, I don't know. That's going to be a tough argument for me. Like, how can that possibly be argued against? Because it shouldn't happen. But it's narratively incredible. Pooya, your favorite season of all time? It's not hyperbolic because if everyone's saying top 5, then it's got to be somewhere in the top 5. People are saying like kind of top 5, top 10. I still think you've managed quite a hot take. Can you speak to why you think it could be at that level of number 1 ever?
It's because, again, for me, the big thing that I look for when I'm watching Survivor, especially live, is give me unpredictability, which I think this season has delivered. I feel like when the merge started, I was like, listen, I love Ferris. I love Kirby. Ain't no way either of these two is going to still be here late game. One of them's going to snipe the other, then the other one's going to get eaten alive. They're still both here. So that's incredible. I loved that in the beginning of the season, we had this weird mirror effect going on both beaches where the same storyline played out twice, literally twice, with the Peta boot and the Frankie boot. So I was loving every bit of that. And then watching so many people sharpen their pitchfork to take revenge on their fallen ally only to fumble it and fumble it and fumble it. So good. Idols found, none of them being used correctly. Love that. And for me, the characters have been rich and you know, we talk about not being scripted. Literally the 4 biggest, like, let's call them main character energy that we've gotten from episode 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, are still here. And genuinely, I could still sit here and say, I don't know who's going to win. And I love that. I know who I would like to see win and who I would like to see win second, who I would like to see win third, and so on. But outside of like maybe one person, if anybody else wins, even if it's not my number 1 favorite, I'd be like, no, respect. Like, that's cool. Like, you got that done. And I feel like you can't say that about a lot of seasons. So for that, and again, 21 episodes, Shannon, is a lot to keep me entertained through 21 episodes. And the one last thing, because this feels a little long-winded now, is one of the biggest things that Survivor AU has done this season is make me realize how US Survivor is kind of coasting a little bit, in my humblest of humble opinions. Feel like it woke me up, and now I'm like, nah, y'all doing it. You're taking it a little too easy. You got comfortable for a couple of seasons, and now you're Autopilot. No. And it's not like AU's redesigning the wheel. AU's using the old model that was there, and it's working. Why are we not using the old model? It was great. Why'd we have to switch up? It's like when Windows XP was great. They're like, nah, you need Vista. Why? XP was right there. Anyway.
What? So is Titans Rebels the like Windows 10 of operating?
It's the Windows XP. It's the sweet spot. It works.
Well, there's so much there. The mirror image from the first week is something I've loved all season. I feel like it's still been there. I feel like they met up at that random Titans v Rebel vote where Eden went, and it was now tribe on tribe. The whole time, I kind of feel like we've had they've been on different kind of waves, and then
they all came together, Shannon. The Titans formed back together, the Rebels voted together, and it made no sense. And then they split it. Amazing.
Nothing's made sense. It's been a brand steal, but also strangely scripted. And I think for Australian Survivor as well, when we talk about like those 4 Titans of this season, even though 2 of them are Rebels, being in the final 5, that's quite rare for Australian Survivor. Other great seasons, it's definitely true of like Brains versus Brawn, but other great seasons like 2017 or even Heroes versus Villains, which might round out for me like the rest of my Australian Survivor top 3, because it is a long game. You do end up with kind of a not less dynamic, but some of the B characters in the end. And that's a criticism that people have of both of those seasons. That is not true, obviously, of Titans v Rebels. So yeah, a lot going on. Chappell, I don't know if you could be as high as these 2 on the season, but are you?
Join us.
I'm new to these Aussie streets. I've only seen one other season of Australian Survivor. I believe it was Heroes versus Villains, and then I watched this. I've started other seasons, but I didn't finish them because they're so damn long. So much going on, so many episodes, so many people to keep up with, and sometimes it's very slow. There's very, very few slow moments in this season at all. And so I have been on the edge of my seat. I had so many faves going into the merge, and they were all fighting. And I've never been in that situation. I watch a lot of reality TV, and normally I want my faves on the same page, and I want them to take it all the way to the end together as a family. No, I never wanted these people to get together. I wanted them to fight. I wish they hadn't voted anybody off. I wish they were still fighting. The pairs, it was perfect. Kitty and Caroline, Valeria and Mark. I was like, by the time it was just everybody, just like, I wanted them all at odds. Ree and Kirby still going after Ferris. I want them all to do like horrible things to each other in this game. I do, because it's so entertaining watching them all just sharpen their knives every episode. It's like, this person can go. But I was talking to this person, and I'm starting to think, I don't know. And then I said, but I still hate such and such from 3 episodes ago. I might hold on to that. But what if we just go get somebody else and just like, yes, do that. No, do that. No, do that. And I was like, wait, okay. I'm fine with anybody going as long as it's not Kirby. And then it goes, and then somebody else, I'm like, oh, not them. And I was like, well, at least it wasn't Ferris. Like every week it's been something like that where I'm like, okay, that person could go. It hurt. But at the same time, not of the pairs, the lesser entertaining pair of the pairs goes home every time. And so it's just like week to week, I've just been watching my faves just move through the season so seamlessly. And I'm like, yes, it's so good. But now we're down to the nitty gritty, and everybody cannot win. And so this is probably going to be the hardest part of this entire season for me, because I don't know what I want to happen. I love them all so much, and I hope they all hate each other. That's how much I love them fighting in this game.
Well, let's decide what we want to happen. Let's put make a choice. Stop fence sitting. What do we want? What do we want? Because I don't know that I can do it. Who do I want to win? I don't know. That's really hard. Hard question.
My question to you, Shannon, is: have you got a feeler of whether or not this is going to be a final 2 or 3?
Yeah, I don't know. I assumed the whole time final 3. I've always said once they did a final 3, once they got it done, Blood versus Water, which they'd always wanted, they'd never come back. But I know that David Forster has said that he'd keep, us on our toes. And I feel like me saying they'd never do it, he's like, well, watch me. So there's possible that maybe the fan, be arrogant and they'll surprise us. So I thought final 3 with juror removal, because I guess I'm not creative, and that's what they did last season to do the juror removal there, and that makes sense in like limited days of what they do as a non-elim to get to a final 3. But then Valeria and Mike's exit interview, which I fully missed, and Twitter had to tell me I didn't miss the interview. I listened to it, but apparently she said top 2, and I went back and listened. She did. Does Valeria know the top 2s exist? Has Valeria seen anything else but this season that she's currently on? Is that what she's taking it from? Maybe Valeria is juror removed and she's seen just like Brains versus Brawn. These are the places my mind goes. But the main thing for me is that the TV guide, which I don't know the accuracy of something like TV guide, but like the episode descriptions on like the TV guide for next week indicates the final 2. Okay. But maybe I'm just being optimistic because, I love me a final 2, but I don't know.
That's a lot of evidence, though.
In Australia, though. Well, hold on, pause. It's the Windows Vista conversation just came up again. They have TV guide. We used to have TV guide here.
It's
is that still a thing?
It's like on the it's
like
online.
The episode description on like your DVR.
I don't know where it is actually. I only saw it on Twitter. I don't know where.
Like, y'all are our international representation here, Pooya and Shannon. But Liana, we used to have like a TV guide channel. You remember?
Yeah,
this?
we did. Yeah, we did. We had a TV. Yeah, it was like it's like a separate channel.
So
like you guys don't. Do you guys still have
a
TV guide channel?
It was like a scrolling. These are the things that are coming on today. It was just like
go
constant.
Yeah, exactly. Like scrolling of like this is on channel 5, channel 6, channel 8.
Using that though.
I used to watch it religiously. What are you talking about?
What you
what? Do you see how much
the TV guide? I would scroll and see what's on TV.
Oh no. And then it had little mini episodes as well. So when you say TV guide, it gets my attention because I used to just watch that little scroll there. I had to know what was coming on. I had to look as much TV as I watch. Is that a shock to anybody?
I think I've worked out what's going on, by the way.
There was like a magazine though too, right?
It was a book.
The TV guide.
It was a TV guide magazine, and then it became a channel.
Talking about.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. So when Shannon said TV guide, I was like, wait, how far back are we going here in Australia?
But it's a different time zone. No, I think I've worked it out. Here it is. If you go to TV guide, like the actual TV guide, right, online, which is just an online thing that shows you the TV guide. If you click on the episodes, it'll tell you the descriptions. Now, this is not something I knew until I Googled it right now, but I just clicked on the finale, which is 7:30 next Tuesday night. After 45 days of battling it out in Samoa, the final 3 will be pushed to their limits. Who will be crowned sole survivor and Titans v Rebels?
The final 3
pushed to their limits.
Will be pushed to their limits.
Sounds like an immunity. Yeah, sounds like an immunity.
I don't think because for them to be at the final 3, firstly, they're being pushed to their limits. That's a final endurance challenge. Secondly, what does it say a day before? This is a very clunky. I'm gonna find it. All right, I have to.
If only you had your own channel that would tell you.
Here's what it says about the penultimate episode: the final 4 are left, and tensions are on the rise as deals are exposed. An all-out war is on the cards. Who will be safe from the vote tonight? This is pretty conclusive.
That's every episode, though. Like it's
all-out war. Final 4, and there's gonna be a vote
at the final 3. Yeah, so there's 3.
And then it will go to 3, and then they'll go to a challenge, and then that's what it'll be.
And then they'll go to 2.
Okay.
Yay! Final 2.
Well, look, if it's a final 2, give me Kirby and Ferris. We need it. We need it. We need it. I don't care, Shannon. We deserve nice things here. We do. We do.
Let us dream.
Self-love.
Let us have it.
Please. If it's a final 2, it's highly likely that Kirby and Ferris, like neither of them are. Like Kirby's still my winner. Not Kirby. Sorry.
Why are you doing this, Shannon?
What's wrong with you?
Let's just set it out. If it's a final 2 and we're not trying to delude ourselves, we're not trying to be Delulu like in season 45, then the odds of both going within 3 rounds is incredibly high. The odds of like a Raymond Caroline final 2 have never been higher. I'm telling you.
No.
And Raymond
the wrong answer.
Raymond had 0 confessionals this past week. Ain't no way this man is the winner of the season or in the final 2.
From an edit perspective, but from a game perspective, there is something there. Maybe it's Mark. I think I'm higher on Mark the more I think the final 2.
Stop it. Cut it out. We deserve. Listen, there have been a lot of fights in this season, a lot of battling between these people, a lot of rivalries. Nothing touches the Kirby versus Ferris of it all. We deserve them both sitting in the final 2 and arguing their point, because who do you vote for? Because if Kirby gets there, I'm assuming she's going to have to win like 2 more challenges to do
3
it,
now.
You know? Yeah. Like if Kirby wins out, I'm like, y'all, look at the material. You can be the judge of it. Look at it. It's right there. She deserves. And if Ferris is the one who's sitting next to her, he deserves.
If Ferris is sitting next to her, he's done terribly. What has gone so wrong for Ferris?
Because they should be getting him out. I think he's blessed to make it this far.
If Kirby wins out, she's taken Ferris to the final 2. So why has he done terribly?
That because he hasn't controlled that. If Kirby wins out to a final 2, she will have won more immunity challenges than anyone in Survivor global history. She'll have won 6. So that'll be pretty impressive. And Ferris will be, I think, pretty powerless against that in a final 2, where
he'll have a tough sell. Even if Kirby doesn't win any more immunities, I think already I would say, as much as I'm rooting for Ferris number 1, I still think Kirby's going to beat him at a final 2. But like I said earlier, I don't mind. If these 2 are at the final 2, I'm happy no matter who wins. Like, I'm going home happy.
I need it.
Okay, Pooya's willing to put his money where his mouth is. He wants Ferris number 1. He's done who he wants.
It's my dream. It's my dream.
Who do you want to win? Name one person. Name one.
Kirby. I love her. She's so good. Ferris is so charismatic. There's been so many times in the season I've just been rooting for Ferris, and at the end of every episode, I'm like, man, I hope he doesn't get Kirby. You know, it's just like, I just keep coming back to like, like that Ferris, man, he's a tough one. He's good. I hope all his plans work, except for any plan that involves Kirby going home, because I need her here. And I just am so impressed with her edit over these last couple episodes where it's like, yeah, I guess I'm down, but too bad. Y'all aren't going to beat me in any challenges. And also, I've been holding back a lot. I'm also a star athlete. None of this is hard for me. I'm going to win. And then just boom, win. I'm just like, wow, people was really talking about Rhea being a challenge beast with their whole chest, and Kirby right there, just beasting, just killing it. I said, look at this woman. Yeah, give her the win. I want it so bad. Kirby deserves this.
Liana, can you put your money on one person that you want to win, not who you think will win?
Yeah. So this has been so tough. I love both. So it's between Kirby and Ferris for me. And I've been going back and forth between them the entire season. There'll be one episode where I'm like Kirby, and then there's another episode where I'm like, Ferris is so good. Those reads are just so good. And his death stares, he's watching people talk.
I love it.
I love it. He's a regulation hottie. I'm obsessed. Yeah. But I think at the end of the day, I think I gotta go with Kirby.
Yes!
She's so badass. Like, I'm obsessed with her. She's so badass. I'm obsessed with her. I'm obsessed with her and Ferris's relationship. I was mad at her when she was trying to target Ferris, but now I'm mad at Ferris if he ever tries to target Kirby. Like, there's just, it's a very complex emotion for the 2 of them. But I think having the 2 of them in the final 2 would be absolutely amazing with Kirby win. But if Ferris wins, I'd also be super, super happy.
So happy.
Yeah. And I think ultimately, narratively, like, those are the 2 that I want to see at the end, because I do feel that they're still the main characters. Like, obviously the Carol and Mark conflict, they were main characters early, that I feel like at least Mark has faded a little bit into the background. So it feels like that rivalry is not as present throughout the latter half of the season. So I would prefer for it to be Kirby and Ferris. However, I would take a Carol and Mark final 2 to also see like their eneminess going at each other, although that would be less exciting in my opinion.
A little bit.
I do think Mark and Caroline have been, it's very unfortunate for them. I said this on the recap. Like, I do think that the Mark Caroline dynamic is one of the best dynamics I've seen as well. Like, you know, it could be compared in some ways to like Jake and Katurah with this like last failed idol play, the lack of trust there, the way they've come together and apart. And I think we see this a lot in Australian Survivor because it is so long. You look back at a whole journey that people can have over 40 plus days together, and you're like, you've really been places together. But for Caroline and Mark, you've tried to take her out so many times. They've worked together. She just played an idol on him, but it didn't work. There's so much richness there. But it's just compared to Kirby and Ferris, which we've described as probably the best, at least newbie dynamic in global Survivor history, if not maybe more than newbie. Yes. That's just a hard thing to go against, because I do think they're better than most other dynamics. And I love Caroline and Mark as characters as well so much, and as players. And I think Caroline, she's been so fun. She's a badass too. And Mark is someone I really adore. So it's just very unfortunate, because I feel like Kirby and Ferris are like, you know, almost once in a generation level stars together, even like individually and then in their dynamic. And that's just so hard to go against. But I feel we can talk about Raven as well, but this final 4 of 5 are something to behold, I feel.
Poor Raven.
Caroline definitely won me over, because there were moments where I was like, she could go. Because I'm a Valeria guy. I was like, oh yeah, I like that. I like a good vindictive storyline, right? Like, you took out my number 1. When I get back to you, I'm coming for that ass. Like, I love that kind of thing. Like, go do it. The problem in this season is that everybody was willing to put down their weapons against the people that they were supposed to be coming after to work together, which obviously strategically probably makes more sense. But I don't like that. I want you to see it like, hey, I still need you out. And so that was the thing that was appealing to me about her and Mark, is that every now and then it's like, yeah, strategically, yeah, you should probably just be working with Caroline. But if you throw a vote over there, I ain't gonna be too mad. And they just kept missing. And I was like, man, Caroline. And every time she comes back, she's like, that Mark, he's still coming for me. That's crazy. But I'll deal with him later. And I'm like, yeah, like keep your eye on the prize. Don't let me blind you with my rage. Just do. So that's what really won me over with her. Mark has just diminished so much in this game so far, like his presence, that I'm like, I just don't see it for him. I think that of the people we've talked about so far, he would be my least favorite win here, even though, again, justice for my girl V. Like, I'm sorry, but hey, you gotta go. Mark can get her back. I'm down with that. But Caroline is a sleeper pick for me. I didn't realize I was rooting for her so hard into these most recent weeks, and I'm like, man, but this week was wild. It was a wild week for her. So I don't know. Like I'm not seeing it in the edit anymore. Yeah, Liana, did you this was tough.
Oh my gosh. You're talking about the idol play, the failed idol play.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I was like cringing inside as I'm watching this out because we're watching it play out and I'm like, is she gonna tell Mark? Because Mark's gonna vote out Kitty. Like, unless this happens. So it's like watching a slow-mo car crash. You like slowly see this happen because you're like, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. And then it happens and then Kitty goes home and what'd she say about like, I'm gonna play an idol for my arch nemesis, and then her BFF goes home. Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh. That was just shot to the gut.
The only vote she nullified was Kitty's. Who went home.
She nullified her best allies vote. Like, oh no.
Yeah, and I think that we talked it through on the recap. Like Ferris had an idol as well, so he
was going to play it.
Like,
exactly.
Yeah,
he
in
would have.
terms of
That's what Pooya had to keep reminding me while we were
watching
the
episode. It was my first thought.
Yeah, the minute Caroline gets up and correctly uses the idol on where the majority votes are, Ferris is playing it on himself. And Liana says I'll have to remind her, I went into the kitchen and grabbed the dining chair to sit on instead to be close to the TV because I just, if this had gone, because I was just panicked. I was like, there's still a 5% chance. And I'm mentally not ready to have this, get this close and not have this work out for who I'm rooting for. So it worked out. But oh my God.
I want to watch you guys watching the show. That sounds incredibly entertaining to me.
Give me the live feeds for sure. Shannon, what is the U.S. Survivor equivalent of what the hell just happened here with Kitty going home? Because I haven't thought of. It just popped in my head, and I think you would know. But at first glance, I think this is one of a kind.
No, I think it's Jake and Katurah. Like it felt, and ironically, they had not watched Jake and Katurah. I know Caroline's a super fan. Maybe she would have seen the pitfalls had she actually been able to see that season. There were so many similarities. Alex getting in her head that she needs to do something really individual. Jake, I think, rightly wanted to do something individual. I described this on Talking Tribal as like a new category of move created from when people do it so well. Natalie Anderson, the gold standard of like late game. Let me depower the person sitting next to them by saving them. You have no agency. I'm bringing you along and I'm winning. And then we see it go poorly. Lack of communication leads to kind of less capital between this kind of underdog duo, or could have been the Titans. And then it goes awry. Like, are those situations not so similar? I feel like I thought that at least Jake had, I feel like, less to lose, where I feel like Caroline, if she pulled this off even as a group, it would have gone a lot better. Whereas with Jake, I was like, yeah, whatever, do it individually. And if you go home, he was very far from winning. Do you see those situations as somewhat similar? I don't know.
Yeah, I think the thing with Jake and Katurah is that like they weren't as aligned as we would have liked them to be. Like, for Katurah, she had reason not to trust Jake because she's like, he's acting weird.
Does Mark not?
I don't think at this point he did. Don't get me wrong, he should have been gone. He's been on borrowed time for a month now. As far as Caroline's concerned, so by now I'm like, what else? What are your other options? You just go with her. But it's the idea that she just didn't tell him. What was she trying to accomplish by not telling Mark?
Depowering him, like Jake. Pooya,
with what power did he have? It doesn't say Mark is, in my opinion, of the 5 that we have left, he's the least of her worries, and has been for a while.
No, I get it. I think that there is a really real fear around Caroline sitting next to Mark at a final 2 or a final 3, where she should be able to be like, this guy has tried to get me out multiple times. Now, the Scott quit was unfortunate for Mark, but she should be able to say, how could you possibly vote for him next to me when the fact that I'm sitting here is really a testament to his failure multiple times over. But I do think she'd have a really tough run with the jury. I think from a social perspective, I think from a demographic perspective, I think some of it's unfair and some of it is earned. And I think that if she can sit next to Mark and say, not only did he fail in getting me out so many times, but against his even knowledge, I saved him to pull off what should have been a massive move. That is, to be fair, a near game-winning move for her in the right final tribal council permutation. So I do get that, but I still think that it was such a difficult situation against Ferris's idol, not knowing where they were going to vote, that if she had collected the Titans for the 3 of them to do something, I said splitting 2-1 on Ferris and Raymond, which would have been pretty cool. If she collected them to do this like risky plan and pulled that off, I think it would have just given her more potential to actually do something really hard. But so Pooya, do you not see, how do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see the through line there. And I do agree that I definitely can picture a world where she's at the end with Mark and she doesn't win. And I'll be like, why? Like, this makes no sense to me. I think part of it is everything you just highlighted with how she maybe looked at just, demographic wise, social game wise. But also, I think if there's one thing, because I also agree that Mark's had a very silent second part of the game. Basically, Mark had a really good spot and then loses Valyria, loses Alex like back to back. Like he's in shambles now. But if there's one thing the show has highlighted a lot is his ability to socially reposition and use his diplomatic capabilities to get results. And I think that is a silent killer at a final tribal. So I definitely think that no matter what his role was, he can speak the part. And if he believes it, if he can exude that confidence into the jury, don't matter how he was doing, don't matter how silent he was or how little he had driving ability in the end game here, I think he can make it work. Which again, this is why I go back to, I can still see merit in all 4 out of the 5 people winning here. Now, I would hate to segue out of this real quick, Shannon, but I remembered this, and if I forget, I won't be able to ask it. And this might come off ignorant. How do you pronounce resume?
Resume.
Okay, because I've noticed it on with Caroline especially. Is this like just only a Caroline thing? The way she says resume.
How does she say it? How does she?
Resume.
Yeah, I thought it was like a local, colloquialism as well. Like maybe it's just how people say it in Australia. But I picked up on that as well because I was like, wait, am I tripping? But
we do that with some words, like we say like auction instead of auction. Well, I don't.
Auction.
So I'm not Australian.
I don't say auction. Yeah, I'm from Texas.
My accent is weird. Okay, I don't need this to be. I don't need to be the barometer of how we as Australians say things because I'm not a good example of that. So I don't know.
But
I could be right. I could be wrong. I don't know anything.
Auction.
Yeah, I was curious on that.
Action.
Yeah. Well, okay, so
it's embarrassing for us.
No, auction. Why do you say it? How do you say auction?
Action.
Auction.
AK.
I think I'm saying it the nicest. That's not a nice word.
Yeah, I think so too.
No, there might not be a nice way to say auction. Maybe that's why they don't do it a lot in the US Survivor anymore.
Survivor auction.
Yeah, it was best in the UK. I mean, they had high tea and they said like auction. And they said it the best. All right. I'm glad that we got to that. I'm glad that we've nailed that down.
Matters.
So yeah, unfortunate for Caroline at this final 6 for sure.
Yeah, I have an unrelated pronunciation. I mean, it's not a pronunciation question.
That's why we're here.
How do we think the jury is perceiving Mark? I'm like so curious to know because obviously we see him as like this very social, former diplomat, right? Who is able to bring the Titans back together and has been able to sort of like facilitate these relationships. But yeah, in the second half of the game, like from an edited perspective, at least, we don't necessarily see him having really any agency. So I'm very curious how the jurors would perceive him, if any of you have any insights, because I just like, if he gets to the final 2, like I just have no idea what people are going to think of him.
I think he'd do well. I think he'd do well in a final 2 or 3 that isn't with Kirby and Ferris. I would have him as the odds-on favorite to win that. I think his relationships might be the best compared to Caroline, we've seen being actively negative. I think Raymond seems pretty aloof, although I don't know if, Raymond won't get some kind of rebel votes like if it goes back to Titans v Rebels somehow, like Kirby, Rihanna might vote for someone like Raymond. But I think for Mark, like he comes across as really smart because he is. And for me, the thing I think about is like when Raymond switched over in the Jaden vote and in his voting confessional, he's like, Mark is smart. I'll go with Mark. Yeah. And like that perception of like, this is a capable person who would advocate for himself so well, I think speaks so well. And I also think there's a little bit more in the second half than we're giving credit for. I'm not going to say that it's been great since the swap, but I do think uniting the Titans again, that was big. And that's on him. And that's like something he can speak to with his diplomacy. It's really individual. It's really good. In the Jaden vote, I think he got a lot done. There are little wins. It's not Kirby and Ferris who are getting big wins all the time, but in the final tribal council permutation, my money would be on him. Who thinks, what about Mark? Let's talk about Mark. Yeah.
And I think, we're talking about how Caroline had a huge fumble here and a misplay with this idol. But if you're on the jury right now, you must be thinking, Mark's been writing Caroline's name down like every tribals. And she played an idol on him. She played
and he voted out Kitty.
And he voted out Kitty. Like, that's ruthless behavior. And also, he's the only person that's ever made Raymond stray away from Ferris. The only person. No one else has been able to do it.
That is true. But I'm looking at Caroline like, if she makes it to the final two with the Mark, there had to be some magic happening here. Because how does she get out Ferris and Kirby as well? You know what I'm saying? Like, so
I could see it.
Yeah, but if she does that, if I'm Ferris and Kirby, I'm like, I'm thinking I gotta vote for her. If she got both of us out and somehow ended up at the end with Mark, how did she do that? Because Mark has wanted her out for a month. It's been like for literally a month, and she still made it to the final two. I'm like, bruh, if she's like, hey man, this man's been voting against me, and I am Teflon. He cannot touch me. I played an idol on him because I don't respect him. Like if she do something like that, I'm like, yeah, because I think that those are the votes that are going to matter the most. Because I think Valeria might be maybe she vote for Carol. I don't know what the relationship is. Well, that's the thing. There was a mending of that relationship, and then they worked together. It's not like Caroline is the reason why. Yeah, but Caroline's not the reason why Valeria went home.
Ever voting for Caroline?
Yeah,
like
I thought they would never work together. You know what I'm saying? But they did. That's what I'm saying. I liked vindictive Valeria, but now I'm kind of thinking. But do you respect the game that she does to get there? I just don't know.
You've made me think about something really concerning. Like, what if the jury are as unhinged as they've been as players? Because then we can't predict anything. Yeah.
Because think about it. All their worst enemies they've worked with. And so like the people who they weren't aligned with are the people that they had the best relationships with, and they got them out. So it's kind of like, normally you could say, well, this person's obviously going to vote for something. Like we know Ree is going to vote for Kirby. But who else would Ree vote for sure? I don't think you have an answer for guaranteed votes from her. Like same thing with like a lot of these people's number two. Like I don't know if anybody has all these votes locked up. I think there's a lot of wiggle room there. Like if Ferris doesn't make it to the end, who does Eileen vote for? Like I just feel like there's so much imagination to what could happen that I'm like, nah, keep the party going. That's why I said I kind of don't want this to end. It's more fun to talk about and think about because I feel like the ending won't be as exciting as it could be in my head.
Yeah. What do you think, Liana?
Oh my gosh! Unless it's the final two of Kirby and Ferris. Yeah. No.
I scream.
I think if I were to power rank who I think would win, okay, so I'm not necessarily.
Well, we're about to draft, so I don't know if we should. But okay, do it. Give us all your cards. It's good.
Number one. He's best actor. Okay, so then obviously it goes Raymond Ferris, best supporting actor. Okay, so best actor, best.
And then who's
actor.
Like set design?
Who's like
best sound
effects?
Yeah,
just like facilitating relationships.
Yeah.
No, I mean. I think
best actor is not who was best director because that is above, and then who's best film. Best actor is actually not the top award. Really.
It's third place best original screenplay. Like I have so many questions about this analogy. But Leon, I'm glad you bring that up. We haven't really talked about Raymond much. I don't know if it's a hot take, but I hated the little like play dead all week and just play that advantage. I didn't like it. First of all, I thought the episode was boring. It was the one time I was bored this season. I was like,
Valeria, so I'm not surprised by this.
Yeah, and I was like, Valeria, because the whole time, the reason why the episode wasn't a complete zero for me was that little inkling of Valeria kind of still wants to make a move here. And I think that if not for the Scotty quit, I think somebody might have made the move here. You know, it was like they just seen like, oh, you know, the mental health like struggle that Scotty was having, and they're like, oh, we wouldn't want that to happen to anybody else. So it was like a perfect storm for you to pull something like this off.
yeah.
Who's gonna question it, right? But at the same time, she was questioning it, and I was like, just do it, You know, it's like, so that's why I really didn't love that move, and I just don't think there's any world where Raymond's winning this one. So I kind of wish, you know, whatever. Maybe there is a world where maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he does win.
Liana has a number one. No, Liana, give us your real order. It's fine. We won't.
No.
Best screenplay.
No, I don't want
and give us the order and put an Oscar title against each person and do it for real. And we will not use it against you. To be fair, I gave my order on the recap. You all had the possibility of listening to that content.
Yeah, but we respect. We want to come here with our own takes. We didn't want to like muddy the waters. You know, we respect you too much as a creator.
I'm sure.
Right.
Liana, give us the real order. Put the titles. It's my podcast. You have to do what I say. That's what it is.
I'm gonna, Liana, I'm hitting you with the Ferris stare. Don't do it.
Look, Liana, I have a better question. Okay, here.
What?
Okay,
no, not a better question. It's my podcast.
No,
I have
no,
good questions.
We're not giving you our rankings. Hey, I'm a rebel. It's what I do. No, listen, Liana. I know
Chappell,
you and I are team. We're team Kirby.
Okay.
Who is going to vote for our girl against Ferris in the final two? That's all I want to know. If you could just look at the jury and just give me the votes that she had.
Did you move him?
Yeah, he's the host.
Look,
so I put him at the top.
I'm a rebel. I'm a villain. This is what I do.
I'm a villain.
I'm a villain. Yes.
Well, I think, you know, we see Alex obviously like pull his big grandiose move of like shaming everybody else.
Yes.
Like, how dare you? Like, you're not even there. Are you even playing Survivor? You know, so Alex, I assume then would follow through with his big threats and probably vote for Kirby. So I would expect
Kirby. You can tell in the jury villa, like he has affection for her. Like,
yes. Love that. I think obviously Riri, right? Wait, what was your question again? You were asking me who would vote for her.
How does she
you're answering the question correctly.
Okay, good. I got confused for a second.
Kirby would win.
There's so many twists and turns in this season, just like in my brain. Riri, obviously. Jaden, I think, is another one who would vote for her. I mean, he was the one who ended up flipping over with them, I think, because of his strong relationship with her. So I think that's 3 votes. Then I think that, I don't know, Valeria's a really interesting one. Yeah, Chappell.
Yeah, if she's against Ferris, it's harder. But if she's not, I mean, it's a lot easier.
If she's against Ferris, she 100% has Kitty. Kitty felt really close to Kirby, she said in the exit interview. So it depends who she's against, because that might change. But I think there's definitely enough certain votes against anyone. And I think just from a perception standpoint, like surely Kirby wouldn't lose in the end. The audience might have had their feelings, but this cast actually seems to really respect what she's doing and probably speaks to the power that she has over people. So I don't think we have to worry about like a Kirby Final Tribal Council loss against anyone, surely.
I don't
you can put me back at the bottom now. I feel better now. I just need I was starting to strike. Y'all was talking me out of this one, and I think I need my girl to win this one. I do. Bring it home.
Okay, Liana, give your order.
She's got to make it there. That's a problem.
So
she's got to make it there. So I'm thinking at the final 5. So Ferris has his idol. You know, let's say Kirby wins immunity again, right? I mean, that's the 2 of them safe. Like, who wouldn't want that?
It's also sad. This is actually happening. This is just on the podcast.
Yes, but let's live out our fantasy, Chappell.
Yeah. Okay. So
then someone gets voted out. Who cares? Then we go to the final. Then we go to the final 4. Okay, and then somehow Ferris and Kirby make it to the final 3. Okay, great.
Which is wild.
So then the question is, do they take, if Ferris wins, if Kirby wins, do they take the other one? Right? Like, and the answer could be different for both, because we've heard Kirby say, obviously, I want to beat the best. Now, is that a lie? Right? Is she telling the truth? Did she?
She was lying, right?
Professional.
No, she wasn't lying, Chappell.
I feel like she was lying.
I think if Ferris doesn't take a shot at her until then, she takes him. But if Ferris tries and attempts to do something, I think she might snipe him, at final 3. I really could see that. But if Ferris doesn't do any of that, I truly believe she would take him.
Kirby doesn't lie a lot. Kirby's pretty blunt. Like, Kirby will pretty much tell you. Like, if someone comes up to her like Alex and is like, do you want to work with me? She's not even saying a maybe. She's like, no. So I feel like with Kirby, we kind of know. I love what you've created. You know, they're going to both win in final 5. Someone goes. Who knows? At final 4, they're going to take each other. At final 3, they're going to take each other. Then in the final 2, reality check, you know, Record scratch, freeze frame. What it actually is Final 5, Kirby loses, she's out. Final
Stop
4,
it.
maybe Raymond
Don't make me.
switches on Ferris. A lot of this
What?
is on Raymond. He votes out Ferris possibly. I think Raymond could. That guy is a little weird, and he's
You
a
think-
stupid fan, and he's smarter than he comes across. I don't know that he's taking Ferris. Like I do think
Okay.
it's possible he could, but I think there's a world where they just vote out Ferris, and then Mark or Caroline win at the end, and in the final challenge vote out Raymond, who at that point would get, I think, a heap of credit for those moves.
Yeah.
For Ferris, and then Mark beats Caroline, or Raymond doesn't switch on Ferris, which I do still think is probably more probable. Fire, and Ferris gets through. One of them wins the challenge, and then Ferris wins at the end. So Mark or Ferris in a final 2 for me are absolutely leading. Kirby would need to get a lot from Ferris or win a lot of challenges at a final 2. A final 2 is very, very tricky for Kirby to get the heat on her at a final 8 and make it to a final 2. A lot would need to happen. A lot of things, but yeah, it would be.
I think she just needs to overcome Final 5. Maybe I'm naive, but if she just needs to overcome Final 5, and then I think she's fine.
Then she's good. She's totally fine, and her and Ferris will be there in the final 2, and that's all we need to think about.
Yeah, this
it's
is
just
tough.
happening, friends. Like it's just,
it's tough.
It's nice that you guys want it, and I hope you hold on to it.
I just feel like, for me, one of the biggest things, outside of course my personal bias of rooting for the two of them, is that I feel like the show has actively shown us. Liana talked about this earlier. Ferris's reads are second to none. It is incredible the way this man's able to get information just by looking into someone's soul and figuring it out. Kirby has actively called out tells of different people. Kitty can't lie. Carolyn has an inflection when she's lying. She goes a little high-pitched, and now it's obvious. So good. And that undermines these players. That's why, to me, it's almost like baffling, because I do think that Shannon, in the history of Australian Survivor, we do get to this point where the end game ends up being kind of the secondary people or someone who was part of the main but not the main. At this point, with how much they've put behind these two to seem like they are actively number 1 and 2 on the leaderboard, and then with the others, they've shown us their shining moments, make no mistake, but they've also shown us some horrendous flaws. I just don't see it not ending with one of them at the top. I just don't. And maybe that's, again, maybe that's just me feeding my personal bias with confirmation bias. Who knows? I don't know.
To be fair, I think in actuality, like, it seems like on the ground, they probably were these protagonists. I think we're getting like something pretty true to the epicness that was happening there. And Kirby and Ferris have had their flaws. As I mentioned, Kirby can't play subtle or nice. Like, Kirby has had massive flaws. Like, I love Kirby so much, and every week I've come in saying I think she'll win probably until this week. Even though I'm like, but I disagree with XYZ. So many things from the first week, I was like, what are you doing? But how are you doing this? No one could pull this off, but somehow you are. Who are you? And then Ferris as well, he was called a used car salesman. If anything, Ferris has had a massive perception problem that's just like, we just don't trust that guy. Cut to him being like the most trustworthy person in the game that people, so people just turn on him. But I think we've seen issues of perception. They've both had losses. Like, it would be an impressive win from both of them, massively impressive, but it would not be a perfect win. It's very hard in Australian Survivor to have like a flawless win. It's a very long game.
Absolutely.
They would not have that.
Yeah. That's also what makes it so exciting, right?
Yes.
Is that they're not these completely flawless game bots. Like when Ferris, well, in my opinion, felt like he dropped the ball with Alex, I was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you letting that relationship go? Like, you're in a swing position. Like, what? I mean, thankfully, Kitty ended up, whatever, a whole thing. So, like, that's so nice to see because it also makes them fallible. It makes them human. It makes, like, you feel like you can relate to them because who hasn't screwed up, right? So, like, that is also what makes it so captivating and so interesting. And I think that there's something interesting about, like, there's something different about the fact that I don't know, maybe it's the editing or maybe it's like my own like personal biases or something that's coming into play that make them like super rootable, at least in my opinion, that I maybe am not necessarily getting from the other three that are sort of left in the game, which we've also seen mistakes. We've also seen intelligent gameplay. We've also seen a lot of like interesting things from them as well. But I don't know if it's the narrative, the story that's being told that just makes me feel like these are the two main characters. And it just would feel so unsatisfying to like not have an ending with one of them there.
Yeah. Shannon.
Yeah, although it is game-wise pretty likely.
Yeah, look. Look. Just I also like thinking about duos in Survivor history. Yeah, but look, I like thinking about duos in Survivor history that are working together. And Kirby and Ferris have very much been a duo, but they also are enemies. And you just don't see that in US Survivor, where two enemies are working together the entire time, just subtly sniping at each other whenever they get a chance, and then just end up in the finals by themselves. Like, we never see this. We just don't. We see people who are at each other's throats the whole time. One gets the other one, and then the team just runs away with it. And this time, it's like just two enemies the whole time, aligned, with their interests aligned, and then when they don't, they diverge, and then something happens, and then somehow they just make it out, and then they go back to being aligned, and it's so much fun to watch. Honestly, I think we deserve that final two, because I want people arguing about who should have won, that kind of thing. Like that is going to be the most fun part of this. Sure, there are other people who can make it statistically, like you said. It's probably unlikely for them both to make it, but it would just feel so good if they did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just wanted to clarify something on the recap. I miscalculated the Chizzy. I didn't put in my 2 points. I said Kirby was 5 points behind Ferris, but the great Randy Newpool showed me that I'm not. I should post those charts. He's 3 points behind Ferris. So
can we add you to the Chizzy tally? Are we allowed? We're on the podcast. Can we do Chizzy points?
Okay.
Yeah, give us points.
For what? For what?
Chizzy
the whole
points.
season?
We want to add to the Chizzy tally.
No, can you imagine if we just added all of your points right now? Like that.
Why are we not? Do we not count as guests?
Can I just give winner a point?
What?
Okay.
Chappell, who do you
I thought they was. I have a few people that Shannon owes some points. Let me go back. Okay, so I think you could give Peter a point. You could give Viola a point. Winner can get a point. Kelly can get a negative. No disrespect to Kelly, but it's just there was a lot going on there. Eileen could get a point. Derek should get a point. Yeah, but he should get another one. Can we get Eden half a point as well?
So Eden did very well in the Chizzy.
Okay, we'll give him a point, half a point. Like, dog, what do we come here for if we can't affect the Chizzy rankings?
Yeah, why can't we get involved?
What are we doing? What was the?
Who are some of the guests that have gotten to do Chizzy points with you this season?
Like Omer.
Omer.
You get Omer points? Come on, what is this?
Omer.
Oh my gosh.
Omer was a recap guest. What do you guys think we're doing here?
So you're saying we're second tier. We're second rate to you.
Oh, we're checking.
Yes, I feel like I couldn't have made that clearer. In fact, I'm pretty sure I named our Facebook group about this. Did I not? I meant to name it B-tier podcast guest. I couldn't fit you on a recap, and I put you all here today. I was like, better fit this one in. But if we couldn't do it, it was not going to get done. You guys are my second choice.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
Wait, was I too harsh?
No, actually, I love that.
I love you guys.
I think in return for saying such mean things, we can give Chizzy points.
Yes,
exactly.
Okay, you can make your own Chizzy charts right now that don't count and no one's writing down. Randy, don't do anything with this.
Randy, you know the game. Randy, stop.
Who's editing this? Just cut this out of the podcast.
This is how I feel. I'm very upset.
Shannon, if the Chizzy doesn't
extremely upset right now, Shannon. This is how I feel right now. This is exactly how I feel right now.
Oh my God, you need to print that out. Print it out, and whenever Liana's doing anything to upset you, just hold it up. Look at those. Yeah, you're right. I feel shame.
I love the deal or no deal watermark at the bottom.
Dundee. Okay,
man,
it's Crocodile Dundee.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so how about this?
Over there.
How about we each get to give 1 point?
Yeah. Yes.
2 points.
No.
Why don't you respect our opinion, Shannon?
All right. I will accept 1 point from each of you if that point from all of you is for Caroline, because she's way underserved in the Chizzy and it's really annoying me.
Yeah, you give your points to her then. Why should we? You give the points.
I get to give another point.
What did you give this week? Chizzy? Tell us what you gave this week. What were your Chizzy points this week? I gave 3 to Ferris. Okay.
For surviving everything and why wasn't he the target and how did you get through with your idol? Who are you? 2 to Kirby for
2.
It wasn't great. Yeah.
What? But this immunity run. Okay, listen. Let me talk to you about.
She shouldn't be a threat like this at the final.
Who got your one? Who got your one?
Let me talk.
Raymond go.
Okay.
So you gave your one to Raymond and not to Caroline, and you want to
Can I just let me explain the Caroline situation. Let me explain the issue with Caroline. I couldn't give one to Caroline this week. Did you see what happened with the
This is
eye?
an awful week for her. Awful week for her.
Because if you're giving a point for the season, then she's underserved in the chizzy. In the season, Caroline didn't get enough points because, like, when she was controlling the game, there was just 1 week where it was weird with the chizzy because I had 2 guests. So I gave her a point. It would have been 2 points. Anyway, then the next week, I disagreed with her decision not to take out Mark, but she still probably should have had something for the impact that she was having controlling the tribe. But I didn't fit that in. Maybe now I have some regrets just based on the way the chart looks. I'm asking you to change for if you give 1 seasonal chizzy point, but I kind of feel like you guys are just going to give to Ferris and Kirby, and that's going to be kind of pointless to what we're trying to do here because they're already leading the chizzy. So
hear me out. I think that you should have gave 3 points to Ferris and Kirby this week, and here's why.
It feels like
I know, I understand that, but you had 2 guests on, and you threw off the chizzy anyway. So let's fix the problem here. So what I'm saying is that Kirby called her shot. She said this to their faces. Y'all can try to vote me out if you want, but you're not going to beat me in the challenges. Then she came and told us, I am hiding the fact that I'm about to mop them up in these challenges. And then she proceeds to mop them up in these challenges, challenge after challenge. Shannon, she's telling you what she's about to do, and then she's doing it. You can't give a 0.5 on a chizzy.
No, she should not be as big a threat as she is this early
she should.
on.
I agree.
No, she shouldn't. That's on her. She's not a returning player who has a reputation. She did that to herself by being unsubtle at every point of this game. Like, she has to wear a lot of that. She has to wear it like a jacket.
She does wear it like a jacket, but that's why it's more impressive. Yeah, and that's why it's more impressive. They see her
and she's rocking it. It's true.
She's parading around in it. You know, like they're seething because they can't get her out, and she's grinning like the toothy, like just, yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. Yeah, you got re-out. It's fine because I'm good. Trust me.
I've never seen a player play the game like Kirby and get away with it. Because I remember in the early episodes, Kirby's like vocally against plans and like calling it out at tribal. There's moments in at the camp where she's just like, nope, don't agree with that. I'm just like, Kirby, please be a little more subtle. Like they're gonna catch you. But it's one of those things where it's like if she loses, you can point and be like, that's why. Yeah. But then if she wins, it's like that's how much influence you have that you put the game on hard mode for yourself and still prevail.
Yeah.
So it's pretty damn sick.
She's superhuman. Her
and Ferris
are walking around. Or they're like walking around like Tony Vlachos playing against Tony Vlachos, and they're both. But isn't it
Tony Sarah? But I like it better.
It's no, because Sarah is much more calculated than both of these people are. You're not gonna see that kind of stuff coming from Sarah. But Ferris and Kirby are walking around like, yeah, I did this move and it didn't work, and I did this move and then it did work, and then it did, and then not back and the whole time. Okay. And they just, it's Tony versus Tony.
That's brilliant. How has the world not spontaneously combusted? Because what you just described, which is true to what's happening, is too much for our planet. So I'm kind of confused. I don't think I invited you guys on to like criticize my chizzy points. I don't think.
We just want to be involved.
Yeah, we want to be a part of this. You've been gatekeeping this entire country / continent from me for a long time.
You know what it feels like? It's like you shoved all 3 of us onto one podcast, and then you're like, yeah, not even a third worth of cheesy points. Y'all don't matter that much. You know who matters? Omer.
You fucked me so bad that I'm like, what am I gonna do? I want to talk to Liana, Pooya, and Chappell. I might just put them all together. And haven't we had fun?
Survivor you this much, Shannon. I swear to God.
Ooh, don't you wrap this up without answer. I have so many questions for you because you never let me talk to you about. You never let me talk to you about Survivor, especially Australian Survivor. So I got questions. Okay. I talk on the podcast. How often do you get invited here?
It's true. I've blocked Chappell. I invited you right now.
Listen, Shannon covers Australian Survivor and U.S. Survivor on this podcast. Where's Chappell? Yep, nowhere to be found. I'm on the panel with 15 other people. You know,
you have a U.S. Survivor podcast. Where am I?
Your beef is not with us. Don't take shots at us.
It just happened 3 weeks ago. Y'all act like
and I'm not your 19th
season of covering this.
Chappell, I have covered U.S. Survivor with both other people in this podcast. Maybe it's a you thing.
Well, because they sent you invites.
No, because I invited them.
Well, exactly.
I legitimately co-hosted an entire Trader season with Shannon as my co-host.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shannon, I cared about your opinion so much. I said, you and I 50-50. Let's run New Zealand. And this is how you repay me?
This
Who
is how
next
she
to
behaves.
Chappelle?
She doesn't respect you in the
Okay.
shows.
Okay. You will all get one Chizzy point.
Yes!
And if I
Yes!
don't be celebrating. I'm not that clearly. The sentence was going to continue. And if I like the Chizzy points, I will accept them. But to be fair, Randy has already sent me the chart for this week. I don't want to have to make him make a new chart.
Randy makes
likes me better than
800
y'all.
graphics. You'll make
Yeah,
another.
Right. He loves a
If I
spreadsheet.
like your points, I will accept your points and they will be added as special additional points. If I don't like your points, I will reject the point from the high tribunal that is solely me. Liana, who are you giving a point to for the season at large? Make it sneaky, make it good. Don't play Kirby or Ferris. We understand they're great. They've got a lot of things. Just be interesting.
I
don't want to do this. Boo! We don't like this game. We hate it here. We hate it here.
Chappelle,
Okay,
I will
so
remove you from the stream. That's something I have the power to do.
You already silenced my Chizzy vote.
Well, not yet. You don't
I
know
can
yet.
He's about to.
Oh, he's just muted now. That's actually better. That's fine.
Oh.
Okay. I'm a teacher's pet, so I'll play along. So if allowed to do so, I will give my point to...
Offer your point to me.
Viola, because she sussed that the Kitty Caroline contingent middle-aged mafia was going to turn, and they did. And Mark said no. So is that acceptable?
It is allowed.
Yes. Okay. And I also would like to give a point to Kirby.
No.
And I would also like to give a point to Ferris for being daddy.
Okay,
so
I'm going to mute
that as well.
Liana.
Daddy
Liana's bringing a lot of the thirst takes that I have been too scared to give, but that are objectively correct. Her takes.
Why? Give them. Give the takes.
Listen,
I have a crush on all these people.
Yeah, they're lovely people.
They're so
as you
hot.
should. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I've met Ferris's cousin.
And
yeah.
And yeah, damn.
It speaks for itself.
I'm so envious.
I don't want. Why are we doing this? I have to talk to these people anyway. Pooya, who are you giving a point to?
Ferris, no, he
All right. I gotta play by the rules, and I kind of want my point to be a part of history. So, all right. I laughed along, Liana. Let's cool it a little bit. Okay, I'm right here.
Audio listeners, you're missing out on Liana's giant daddy fan. Is there an origin to the daddy fan?
It says daddy on one side and Ferris on the other side.
I'm like, I don't want to talk about it, and she has like a poster. She committed to the bit.
That photo I shared earlier, we have that in front of our bed.
Yeah.
Just full printed.
Okay. No one asked you to admit it, but I'm so
we
glad
are honest
did.
people. What can we say? Okay.
You really are.
So I would give my Chizzy point. What was that, Chappelle?
Nothing.
That's what I
he
thought.
wants to say something inappropriate, but I feel like you've even out inappropriated Chappelle. I think we need to get Mike on this podcast now to outdo you.
Please, no.
He'll take his shirt off again. And
it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
If he takes his shirt off, I have to take mine off. It's a whole thing. Yeah. Continue, Pooya.
Yeah,
where's
you both
the Ferris picture? Where's his shirt not off? What's going on?
Yeah.
I'm giving my +1 Chizzy point to Eileen. And I feel like
Queen.
She is someone who was kind of underserved on the show proper. She also had really good reads, very strategic, had great takes on when to split votes, when to potentially not. The moment, like, Garrett could have been saved had Ferris listened to Eileen, and doesn't happen. And I felt like, especially one of my favorite moments of the season, challenge-wise, because the challenges ain't for me more often than not. But the moment where she got safety for her tribe, but mainly for herself, because had Eileen not won that immunity, she would have been gone, was absolutely incredible. And I feel like I'm very happy that she's at the very least on the jury as of this moment, because I feel like she could have easily been on the pre-jury and been forgotten, but I'm happy she's there at the end of every episode.
Yeah. It is allowed.
And I give a +1 to Kirby, and I give a +1 to Ferris.
Yeah. Randy, poor Randy. I'm just whatever. Chappelle, what are you offering to me, the Chizzy God?
Well, I'm glad Pooya brought up Eileen's challenge win, because it really was impressive. She was about to go home, and it was just like she had kind of emerged as a player right around that time. So a lot of people were like, hold on, tell me more about Eileen, and so it's like right as she started to get going, that could have been the roadblock, and then she overcame, and so I'm so happy that she made it this far. So of course I want to use that same logic and apply it to Kirby and give Kirby my point, last week she should have went home, and she did it, and then this week she could have been home, and then she did it. Kirby deserves, if Eileen deserves, Kirby deserves. It's the same logic.
No, because your points aren't meant to really matter, and for Kirby it might.
She won't let us give them to the people still in the game, Chappell. That's how it feels. So give it to someone else.
People in the game.
She would let me give it to
Caroline.
Give
it to Caroline.
See,
but don't give her what she wants. Give it to someone else.
Right.
Valeria, you love Valeria.
I do love Valeria. I do, but I can't give it to her because she folded on the mission. The mission was revenge. You folded. You don't go out without exacting revenge. If that is what your win condition is, I need you to get it. And she did not get it, and so I can't give it to my queen. But I will entertain the Caroline because I think that the same way I'm holding it against Valeria that she did not finish the mission, I think that Caroline's attention to the mission has been that okay, there is revenge there, but I'm not going to take that route, and I'm going to try to play the best game for me moving forward that does not deter me from trying to win the game. Because I'm the type of person that I'm fine losing the game as long as I got my revenge. Yep, it's me. I'm the guy. Yep, I got my revenge. I don't care what y'all say about me as a player because I got that person out. But as far as Caroline, she's been able to say, yeah, Mark is a threat, and he's coming for me, and he's voted for me. But also, I have bigger fish to fry. And I like that. I think Caroline also had probably some of the weaker allies. No disrespect to Kitty, but she ain't no Caroline. And so I think that, she was kind of dragging Kitty through the game against her will a lot of times. And so I think Caroline is who I would give it to if I cannot give it to Kirby, who also deserves one, and then also to Ferris because he deserves one.
Okay, we get it. Okay. It is allowed. And now do I get to give my point because I'm on this podcast?
No, you don't get another point.
You've had your chance.
I'm on this podcast as well. I'm on this podcast. I'm gonna...
Okay, how about this? You tell us who you're going to give it to, and we'll approve it.
No.
Yes. We have to approve as a group. It has to be unanimous.
As the tribunal.
Yeah.
I'm giving my point to Liana's giant daddy fan.
Okay.
Yes.
No.
Randy,
allow it.
Add that to the chart.
I'm giving.
Put a
can you
fan
imagine?
on the Chizzy chart.
Liana's giant. No. I'm giving it to Caroline for all the reasons stated.
Okay.
It is allowed.
Okay.
It is allowed. But you have to say the additives at the end. And
to Kirby and
Ferris.
Okay. Yeah.
Yay. Okay.
It's understood.
Yeah.
How much time do we have? Because I could talk about Australian Survivor with you guys for so long.
Ooh,
I have
another Australian. I have an Australian Survivor story. So I went and watched Heroes versus Villains or whatever because everybody was talking about all these big episodes. Oh my God, it's crazy, right? And I was watching it, trying to get caught up. And I tweeted, I said, who was this Shani character? Is she am I the only one obsessed with this woman? I was looking around I think I just discovered somebody, and everybody attacked me. How dare you? You're the last person on the train. I was no, she is Mother. Stop yelling at me. I just thought that I was the first one. I was I see a lot of people are rooting for other people in this game, but also this is a perfect human. So I just wanted to throw that out there, just go on the record for the Australian listeners that. Queen,
you were last. You were
last.
That
does very out of time.
Last of the fandom.
Well, I had never seen it. Nobody. It's not like I don't know. I know somebody who does Australian Survivor coverage who would have told me this person existed.
You muted me on Twitter. I know you did.
Several thousand times, but yeah, you see coming back. But listen, I only muted you when you're not telling me useful information. This was the one thing you were supposed to tell me. You did not tell me.
That other people like Shawnee.
You should have said, Chappell, there's a character on the show.
Player.
She's half mermaid and half dragon in all the right places. and she's mom, and you need to watch it. You didn't say that.
She actually is a mom now. She had a kid. Yeah.
Yes, she did.
Mom and she's mommy.
Born to be mother as well.
Fan. You have a mommy fan too.
So I'm just saying.
Imagine if I had that fan sitting here.
Yes, I'm gonna send you a fan, Pooya. All I wanted to say is yes. I just remember seeing that and thinking wow, there were so many dynamic characters in Australian Survivor that I'd never heard about before, and so I'm so happy because I was oh, let's get into this. So I do plan on going back and watching some of the other seasons because I just was like, oh, this star of a person is just walking around on Australian Survivor, and we sometimes we just get scraps.
Talking about it. Yeah.
Sometimes we just get scraps on US Survivor. No disrespect to those scraps. How do you think some of these no, I mean they know who they are. Omer.
Name.
And so Omer. And so they know who they are. Anyway, so Shannon, how do you think some of these players would fare on US Survivor? Because I just don't think US Survivor has anything for a Kirby and a Ferris. What are they gonna do?
Yeah, firstly, what you did with Shawnee is the equivalent of someone in 2024 being like, has anyone heard of this Taylor Swift?
No.
No one's talking about it, but she's actually quite good.
Honestly, Shannon,
it
felt like I discovered Sari for the first time. That's how it felt to me.
Yes.
I was like, y'all have an Australian Sari and didn't tell me. That's exactly how I felt. And so yeah, I'll take it. I'll take that L because if people are just now finding out Sari, where have you been? Welcome. There's tea in the back.
They're not.
You know,
they're not. Like that's when no one was doing that either.
People literally just found about her Big Brother and the traitor. Stop gaslighting me, Shannon.
I love the idea that Chappell also learned about Boston Rob because of Deal or No Deal Island.
Deal or No Deal Island.
Has anyone heard of this Boston Rob character?
This dude should do more island shows. Listen, I feel like he's pretty good at it.
Well, when you watch Deal or No Deal Island, the entire cast is like, I don't know, Boston who? I don't understand. Like, there's like two people who knew who he was.
That was Sandra's season of Australian Survivor as well. So, by the way, Pooya, I saw clips of your Sandra interview. Incredible,
so much fun. It was absolutely surreal to get to talk to her.
We'll get through the plugs, but okay, wait. So, what did you ask about US Survivor? I mean, what do you guys think? Because
I want these Australian faves to come mop up these US Survivor players now. Set it up.
I don't know that they would, because I've talked about this with like a George. You talk about the impactful characters like a Kirby and a Ferris, and you think. They had time and they had space. Kirby had numbers to work with, and even when she pissed those numbers off, she had more numbers to bring across. The scope of Australian Survivor works for these big players. I imagine some of these big players getting out to US Survivor, losing their vote on some sort of journey, and then just going home. You know, like. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
Do we have space to talk about US Survivor on here, or is this just strictly AU? Because I mean, this is just a check-in.
People are often not. You know, we try not to kind of mix and match with that because some people are like at different stages. But okay,
not caught up.
Exactly. And I don't want to spoil. But
okay, with that, gotcha. I'm not going to say any specifics. I'm mostly going to just talk about game format because I think that we've actually talked about this already, which is what this season did so well is it allowed for people to become rivals, become friends, become rivals, become friends, and that just. There's no way that happens in a 26-day season. Like it just does not happen. You don't have that time to recover and to rebuild. So I just think that all of these mistakes that we're talking about that like Kirby made or Ferris made, our faves, they just can't recover from those mistakes because the game format is just too smunched down and they're still going after each other. One of them goes, the other one follows. Like I don't see a universe where the same type of gameplay can be applied to a different format season.
Yeah. I mean, look no further than the fact that on day 26 of Titan versus Rebels, they merged. Yeah.
The game is over here, you know, by then. So you're right.
So I feel like that's the thing, you know, I've talked about personally how I feel like US Survivor players in the new era would fare well on the traders because it is a short game on the traders. They're used to that quick time, do the most, do it quick, do it a lot. But I think one of the big things for me is that if you have this exact same AU cast and you shove them into tribes of 6 and you add the lose a vote mechanic, it becomes a lot safer. It becomes a lot more, I'm complacent in the numbers I've got. I'm not going to do any risky business. I'm not going to look aside on the other side of the pond, and it'll stagnate gameplay. Whereas I feel like they were given room to cook, and God damn it, they cooked a storm. And I loved it.
But it's not just days. I also think the big tribes are what's so important.
Oh, big time.
Even if you swap with these like pretty big tribes as well, and it just allows people to create factions. Like yes, there were rivalries, but they were with armies behind them. And unfortunately, in US Survivor, it becomes a lot more individual because your armies are going to be like max 3 people, if that. Yeah. If anything, you're picking off a couple of people, and that happened in Australian Survivor. They had the space to pick off someone like a Jess, even though they had kind of big groups. But someone like a Kelly. it's hard to see how she makes it as far as she does because there are bigger fish to fry because we have these big wars and the space to do that compared to US Survivor. We have to kind of think definitely more physically and very, very individually just in the space that we have. So I don't know. I don't know how these Australian Survivor players would go in US Survivor, but I don't blame them. I just think that it's kind of bitsy compared to like the mass, let them cook, let Kirby run and
let her play the game.
Her to, I want Kirby to have social options because she's gonna burn some of them.
Yes,
like Alex.
Yes.
But then she has more room to rebound and space and time, and someone like George who makes plans with numbers and scope, and Ferris as well. Who that social game gets limited when it's smaller, so I think it would be quite tough. But okay, what do we want to draft? Before we draft, what should we talk? What's like some big macro? Do we want to talk about favorite moments? Do we want to talk about returnees? Like I have so many questions for you guys.
Shannon,
whichever one you want to ask us.
Shannon, did you know Kelly was a psychologist?
What's going on with you, Chappell? Are you okay? Are you okay?
Oh my God. When Kelly walked the wrong way to leave
after that,
like,
oh my God.
That's what I'm saying. Like this when you talk about favorite moments, like that's a moment that is, if I'm listing favorite moments, isn't in my top 10, but is such a fantastic moment.
I think that might have been the funniest moment.
Oh, it's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
The music dropped well, like boom. I was like,
and everybody else laughing at her, like the rest of the rebels just laughing at her, and she's like trying to find her way
wide
out.
open.
I want to ask Liana and Chappell a question.
Mm-hmm.
Liana, could you name the 4 people that were in the Cuddle Crew this season?
We just did this with Rob and he couldn't.
I know, exactly. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to do it next week too. I hope Rob's not listening. Yeah.
That was the rebels.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the first thing I need to remember of which one.
So far, so good.
So, okay, I remember.
Yeah.
Peta.
Okay.
Alex.
Okay. These were the ones I expect you to get.
Tobias.
Okay.
Come on, 3 out of 4.
Because of Arrested Development, I was like, "Ha, Tobias."
Wait, I was in your room earlier. You have the wiki in front of you. You're looking at the wiki.
I had it up earlier.
Okay. Sure.
And the firefighter.
Maybe you guys.
Whose name is either Hannah or Sarah, and I don't remember.
That's funny that you're saying Hannah or Sarah. Do you know why you're doing that?
No.
Because
like
of the
Laurel
Hannah
and
and Sarah also in the very, very purple, well, not that the stripe was purple, but in the very purple Champions Contenders 2 tribe, the contender women that got nothing. We had Hannah and Sarah. So I think you're like, it was one of the names from that tribe. It was Sarah. Yeah. She did pretty well because Rob thought Tobias was Damien. But I'm kind of worried about you, Liana. I don't want you to go the way of one of the couple, pairs on this season. I want you guys to be stronger than that. I don't want you to be.
Why would you be worried about them though? What happened?
Because he just accused her of cheating in this really minor task. Yeah. So I'd be pretty mad if I was Liana.
No, she's not mad
about this.
Yeah.
This is so small.
I get mad about
Shannon's like divorce.
all the time.
Yeah. Very, very hard to be Peter. Not Peter, my Peter.
Right.
Horrible time to be Peter.
Chappell, what was the name of the first boot?
We just said that. You just said it.
Pooya has said it on this podcast.
Yeah, he said it. Yeah.
Oh.
Why are you doing this to your wife? What are you doing?
No, he asked
Chappell's not my wife.
Oh, I thought you asked Liana. I thought you asked Liana.
No, I said Chappell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he asked me. Look,
I think
nickname. It's not nickname. See,
what's her nickname?
Wasn't it like big booty lady, right? Wasn't that what someone
her with that?
I don't think it was her nickname. I think Viola said it.
I remember Frankie.
That's all it took.
I was the only name I could come up with was Jess. The only name I could come up with was Jess, but I knew Jess wasn't first.
I just said Jess 5 minutes ago.
Yes, but
I forgot Jess.
First. That's why I was like,
remember when she ran that first vote?
Oh my God.
No one is asking you to expose yourself like this. Like Chappell thinking he discovered Shawnee. All of you saying you don't remembe people from the season.
It was a month and 3 months ago. They don't even remember each other.
It was 100,000 years ago. I've aged. I've aged. I get
Liana,
it.
Liana, that was a hell of a hint. I'll just say that. I was like, light bulb.
She knows exactly.
That's why we remember. That's why we knew her.
Guys, I didn't expect this to be so thirsty,
I didn't say anything.
Have you seen this cast?
Yeah.
True.
The drive.
It could have been thirstier. I'm just not going to objectify the people. But if you wanted to see a thirst spot,
all right.
oh no, yeah,
I can start objectifying.
So Shannon's already like trying to book some of these people for the next season to give them Chizzy Point opportunity. Chappell. She's not going to.
Is that what she calls it? Deep dives and Chizzy Points, huh? Okay.
Yeah. It's up to me to get this back on track. I'm aware of that. So okay. So I wanted to do a draft. How much time do we have? Do we have it? Okay. Let's do.
There's only 5
favorite
people.
moment. All of you give your favorite moment. All of you give one person you want to see back that is not Ferris or Kirby. That's the free space in bingo. And then we're going to draft. Liana, favorite moment, one person to return that is not Ferris or Kirby.
Okay, my favorite moment. Okay, I don't know if this is my favorite moment, but this is the first thing that's popping up into my head. So when Titans v Rebels, Titans come together unexpectedly and are going to vote together. And you see Ferris, you see Kirby, they're looking over there and it's at Tribal and they're like reading the situation and they're like,
so good.
Eden, like we need to vote for Eden. That moment, although it broke my heart for Eden, just to watch that play out, like it felt like real time, was just so exciting to see people like, just examine the situation, pivot, and decide what they were going to do. So I think that is going to be my favorite moment.
And one person to come back that's not obviously Ferris and Kirby, who we all know we want them back. We want them back tomorrow. Why aren't you playing Survivor right now?
Yeah. Can you come back to me?
Yes. Okay. Pooya, what's your favorite moment?
Okay, and I'm gonna not pick the same moment because obviously we want some more moments. Low key, I really, really did enjoy, and because it worked out for me, I enjoyed the tribal where they went to another safety challenge, and if you win, you're the only ones that can vote. And Ferris and Eileen, and Kirby all get votes, and that was phenomenal because they were cooked otherwise. So I really did like that moment. It was intense. It was fun. So I was very much, very much loving that. Also, it caused Charles to leave, which I was not mad at.
Pooya, this was my moment too. I was like, the Charles exit is so.
My podcast.
The Charles exit is so good because Charles was so smug. Like, sorry, Eileen, we just won't be working with you. There's nothing you can do. And then in the same tribal council, okay, listen, here's how we can work together. Please don't vote me out. I was like, yes, Charles.
And then Win is trying hard. Win is trying hard to get them to vote him for the idol play.
Yeah.
He gets like one vote.
Yeah. And then player to come back is Frankie.
Because of what we just said?
What did we say? Shannon, tell me what we said.
Yeah, you didn't have to justify it.
No.
Right.
I don't have to say anything I don't want to say on my own podcast. What, Frankie? That's not what you mean.
That's exactly
Did I stutter?
Why? Explain the pick if you're going to make the first pick.
I think Frankie has a lot of potential on another opportunity.
I agree. I think she was playing from behind, but I think you really want to get up into that main spot and have her just like run things. I'd love that.
Same.
Yeah, I would love to see how she did in the back end of the season because she went out early. It's really hard to tell.
I'm kicking you all
exactly.
off. I'm going to, I have the capacity to do that.
Look, she's a little bit of an underdog and it's tough when you're playing from the rear, but I think that we just have a lot more to see from her. And, I want to see it happen.
A lot of people were making her the butt of the joke. And I was just like, she's the first boot. You don't have to throw salt in the wound. She's already gone through so much. So yeah, bring her back and let her play again.
I thought you meant first booty.
I didn't say booty. Shannon, come on.
No one was saying that. No one was saying that.
That was uncouth.
Stop it. Have some type of decorum. I told you the Charles vote is iconic. Yeah, the Charles vote is everything. It is just the way he goes from like, sorry, can't help you. Nope, no way we can work together. You're in a bad spot to the tie, and then it's like, oh, Charles, why should we work with you? And he's like, actually, I think we could work together, and here's why. I was like, no, Charles, you don't get out of this one. So yeah, that just. Charles seems like a nice person, but that just seemed like it was so poetic that it happened in one episode. And then as far as bringing people back,
side.
Yeah.
Shannon, relax.
Yeah, God, right.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Stop it.
I met my pick. I really did.
Bring back Valeria. I'm telling you, I like a good vengeful spirit. I hate that she went out the way she did because it feels like she just didn't get her shot to make the shot. I think this is a once in a lifetime play that takes her out as well. I don't think anybody ever falls for this ever again. There'll never be a case where anybody can ever be like, I need all the votes on me. Like, oh, sure, Jan, whatever, go to hell. It's not happening. And so I just feel like it's such an anomaly of a play, Shannon. And you've seen way more Survivor than I have, but I just can't think of another person who could have. Yeah. It just feels like it was just, like I said, once in a lifetime. It might happen on US Survivor because they just don't pay attention to this kind of stuff. But once it happens, you can never repeat it again. And so I just think that that's why I would like her to have another chance.
Yeah, I was talking about that with Mike in terms of like, similarities in Survivor history. We said maybe like Jenna acting like she wasn't so interested so that Heidi was a bigger threat. It's at least using some of that, but it's definitely not to the extent that we saw it in that extreme with an advantage we've never seen before. So, in terms of best moment for me, I do think probably Jaden voting for Eden. I don't know that it was my favorite, and it feels incredibly tainted now, but that moment is probably the most shocking moment of the season. A couple of others, and I think what's so interesting is like we all have kind of like there's a lot to choose from, and it shows kind of how versatile the season has been. Like I love heroes versus villains, but like everyone is saying episode 7. Like that is the best moment. Yeah. Not that the rest wasn't great, and there's some amazing stuff like the Cookie Idol that also is in extreme contention there, but also that just is head and shoulders above everything else. But there was good stuff. I'm probably downplaying that stuff, but this season, the Peter boot when that dual mirror image in the first week was so much fun. And the fact that it happened again and they've thrown the challenge and she had an idol all time. Then I also feel like, what was I going to say? The scramble that got rid of Sarah, where Mark, that was a huge episode.
Oh my God. That was wild.
That was so
all
stressful.
In at that point. I was all in at that point. I was like, you got me.
That's not a moment, but that episode might be my favorite of the season. But then I also think the winner boot. When like they turned it around and they had those decoys and those decoy votes and it worked. That was huge for Caroline and Ferris who did that together and are like still here at the end. So there's a few. If I had to say someone to come back, I'd say Eden. Would love to see Eden back. I thought he brought a lot from an narration standpoint, from a gameplay standpoint. He was a lot of fun, and love to see a fellow super fan be so much fun on the show. Liana, who do you have now that I'm coming back?
So I'm happy with the people that you all have listed, because I was originally thinking, how do we get the V's and Mark all back? Because I wanted to see that group. Like I was so curious to see what the three of them would have done together. So some combination of them, all three of them. And then I think Eileen is another person who I'm just more curious to see like her perspective. And I know Raymond says she's got nothing to go back to. So that's perfect. She can come back on Survivor and then we can see more of what she has to offer, because I think that, because of Ferris's dominance, we just saw more of him from an edit perspective. So I want to know more about her.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm trying to think about our chizzy points that I have to give to Randy Newport now. And I don't want to downplay heroes versus villains, which I'm not. Like it had like the Page boot was big, Geordie going, Sam when they played the idols wrong. There was a lot going on. Heroes versus villains was also incredibly fun. I put this out on Twitter. This will be my last question that I promise we'll draft. At a point, you're going to go to sleep. But I was like, is this the best consecutive Survivor pairing of seasons
back to back?
History? Other things
you saying global Survivor history?
Yeah, I am. I mean, obviously, in Australian Survivor before this, we actually had an odd number curse where every other season wasn't very good. So this has broken that curse. So this is definitely an Australian. But
I think
there are other.
I think I'm with you. Because there's been like other good seasons, but like for example, I feel like you could look at maybe Cagayan and San Juan del Sur back to back, but that varies on people. But I really like both those seasons a lot.
That was brought up. China Micronesia was a big one.
That was a good one.
Amazon Pearl Islands. Either side of Cagayan, both Blood versus Waters were brought up. For Survivor South Africa, maybe Immunity Island into Return of the Outcast. So, but I still think, I don't know, people are saying both of these seasons are top 5. Like, I don't know that we have that level. Maybe it's 6 and 7. Maybe it's 15 and 16.
So I watched last season, but last season just had higher highs, I think, but it wasn't as consistent. I think that the first half of last season, there were moments, but I think, like you said, episode 7 is such a standout. I don't think there's one standout episode where you're like, you have to see this one thing that happened in this season only. Like, if you don't watch anything else, you need to watch this. I think there's so much. I think that if I tell you to watch this, I'm going to tell you to watch this episode, then this episode, then you got to follow it up with this one, and you got to watch the next one because you got to see how they bounce back from this one. But you would think they're going home this one, but they're not because they're going to win immunity. Like, this one's better than last season. But I haven't seen enough Australian Survivor to say that, oh, like, consecutively, like, this is just, what that is. But as far as, like, U.S. Survivor goes, yeah, I think you've named all the ones that are probably in the running for that. Heavy on the, what is it? Pearl Islands, that's my goat. So any season that's next to Pearl Islands on the other side of it, whatever.
Well, not all stars.
Not all stars. Yeah. just Amazon. Just Amazon.
Yeah. What do you think, Liana?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. That's so tough. I mean, like, of course, my initial gut instinct was like, yes, of course. But now that we're listing them, and I'm thinking like, oh yeah, China, Micronesia. Like, now that I'm looking at some of the other combinations of seasons, I think it's like, oh man, that's really tough. I think also because we're still in the middle of this season, so I kind of want to see how it ends first before I make like my definitive decision. But I mean, it's absolutely up there. I mean, it's just it's been so fun and so good.
Yeah, let's see how it ends. Although Jesse and I were saying it's going to be hard to kind of tank the season.
You had Jesse on before me too.
Okay.
What do you want from me? Don't be coming for my cheesy points and my guest list. You're here, aren't you?
You're picking Jesse and Omer though. Like, if you picked like some standout guests,
don't do that. No.
Look. They're both. White on. Thank God. Listen, they're both fine Survivor players. Sure, they both could have won the game and did a lot of good, impressive things. But I also could have gotten a chizzy point to give to somebody if you had brought me on. So I'm just saying.
You did.
Sure, they're good. No, you gave us like a hypothetical, like give Kirby the chizzy.
It really felt like you gave us charity. Like it felt like we got a handout here.
That's what this whole podcast
Jesse gets a real one. Omer gets a real one. I'm sure I don't get a real one next year, but I gotta give mine to somebody who you will have to allow me to give it to. It just sounds a little like, not fair.
This is my revenge. In a season of revenge, I did this on purpose.
What did we do to garner revenge?
What did you do? Roll the montage. I've got it ready.
What can we do? Yeah, I really have.
You like 20 minutes ago, and we're all yelling at Shannon.
I've literally tried. I've literally tried to throw the draft to let Shannon win, and just somehow she still has not managed to pull it off. Like, Shannon, what do you want from me? Huh? You want me to just give you the title? I try. I draft grenade after grenade after the grenade, and you just
you're the reason. You doing that is actually what prevented me from winning last. Anyway, this is actually going to go in the montage that I'm going to make for the next time someone says, "What did we do to you?" Not Liana. Not Liana.
Again, I draft grenade after grenade after grenade for you, and that's like.
Me.
Call me Bruno Mars. I can do no more. Okay, this is all I have.
I will draft a grenade for you. Literally.
Yeah. I did it every time.
You have been, but not for me. You've made me lose. You've been doing it for Asia, like specifically for Asia every time. Anyway, let's do a small draft. But how are we going to do this? Because I think that there's kind of an order. I know who Chappell wants. I know who Pooya wants.
I feel like Liana and Chappell are vying for the same person.
Yeah, and I feel like Pooya and me as well.
Oh,
so let's do this.
So y'all both can fight it out for Raymond, and then Liana and I will just split. You can have Kirby and I'll take
Kirby
Ferris.
and Ferris. Yeah, I'll take Ferris. That's fine. I'll step down for you. You can have Kirby. I'll take Ferris.
I'll take. Okay.
And then you two battle.
Very giving people.
Figure it out. Figure out what you need.
Draft. Bet draft. Who's willing to bet what on their people? Who's willing to go to the ends of the earth for Kirby or Ferris? What will you
gain from winning this hypothetical small draft?
What do you gain from winning any draft? Extreme pride.
Absolutely nothing. Yeah, I would say. Trust me, we've won. I would say you wouldn't know. Liana and Pooya and I have won Extreme Pride several times.
Yeah. How about this? If whichever one of us wins, we get 5 chizzy points to add to next season's Australian Survivor whenever we want.
No.
Why?
No.
You want steaks? I'm trying to eat.
I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to lose the integrity of the chizzy, which is kind of my bugbear.
Omer had a chizzy.
Yeah, the integrity been gone.
Bro, stop it.
You're wrong. Chizzy is very scientific. It has a theme song and merch.
It does have merch.
And yeah. So what? Like, you gain nothing but pride. I'm not giving away chizzy points. and I'll tweet about it. And what would you bet? Like the person who will bet the most gets like in an order, I think like Ferris and Kirby. And then that's what it is. It's like an auction. It's like you have to give money. Kind of.
But are you the auctioneer?
Right.
Right.
It's unfair because you're also participating.
You're not. Yeah,
no,
you're
I
not.
think we can all collectively decide who's shaving their head for Ferris. That's fine.
I've shaved my head before. It wouldn't be the first time.
The way that it works is you bet on them, and if they win, you don't do the thing, and if they lose, you do the thing.
Oh.
If you really think Kirby's winning, you can just bet the world.
Anything, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're really
but then I have to do the world at that point, and that's hard.
No, that's only if Kirby loses.
Yeah, but I'm saying if I bet the
you
world,
gain nothing. There's no benefits to winning this draft.
Maybe this draft doesn't work because no one's willing to shave their head.
No.
Nah.
There's only 4 of us and there's 5 people, and it's just not. It's
fine. It's fine. The 5th person will go to the crowd, to Taryn, to Asia, to Rob.
Ooh. What if we do a must-lose draft?
Okay.
The dog pile to draft Raymond just intensified.
It's just flipped over. Okay, who's shaving their head to draft Raymond now?
I mean, I would win that draft at that point, so I wouldn't even have to shave my head.
All right. I know what it is. We'll draft in a regular order, and the order will go by proximity to Australia.
That seems unfair.
That's fair, because I'm podcasting.
Wait. Wait. That's not fair. I'm the furthest.
Yeah,
right.
Liana's the
so
furthest.
let me move this all around. So Liana was there. Chappell like there. Aren't you guys in the same place?
Yeah, but Liana's
my
further
room
south.
is further away.
Or sorry,
So,
further
Have
north.
you
right now.
Put it in the map.
I'm like 20 feet further from Australia.
Yeah.
All right.
What if I turn on a VPN? Then I am in Australia, and then I get closer.
I'm in
Texas is
Australia.
the Australia of the U.S., so I'm in Australia.
Says who?
Says me in Texas
right now.
and Australia.
But you don't say auction the right way.
Auction.
Okay. This is what it is. Whoever says auction the best will get the draft first.
Auction.
I'm saying it. Action.
I think we should end the podcast.
Maybe
Let's
it might be time
for the draft.
Let's type. No, we'll do it in teams. Pooya and me, we want Ferris. That seems pretty clear.
Yeah.
Chappell and Liana want Kirby. So we're team v team draft right now.
Cool.
Okay,
That works.
And then Pooya, and then I don't know. So do you guys as a snake draft? I don't know who was first. Do you guys want to pick another
Kirby
person?
is obviously the first seed, right? So they get Kirby.
No,
then we get Ferris.
No, it's no.
Top seed.
Ferris is the top seed.
Y'all are such gaslighters.
I do think
Kirby has a harder chance to win.
She definitely does.
Yes, she does.
I was trying to finesse an extra
I know you
pick.
were, Pooya, but I have my integrity is very high.
I have Ferris. I'm happy.
Wait, Liana, are we taking Mark or Caroline?
I don't know. I was thinking. So the thing is like I think Mark would fare better, but I'm nervous that Mark hasn't gotten a lot of content. So
he's
he's
so
just gonna
quiet.
pop up and win. Whereas
Carolyn
has gotten more content. Should we pick Raymond?
Should we pick Raymond?
Should we be chaotic and pick
Raymond? We're so cheeky.
I regret
Y'all
you
got to
guys
get
up.
the next pick
like
to
Kirby.
pick Raymond? Are we joking?
Yeah, do it. Shave your head for Raymond.
I'm shaving my head for Raymond.
No, this is the must-lose draft, right? Because if
Alright,
so,
make
we
your
do
picks,
Kirby and
make your
Raymond.
This is the much lose draft, right? We never changed. We decided on that.
The draft usually is so, reckless without the rules. People have complained about it. This is even worse.
When you say people, you say
people complain.
Shannon, this
People
is
literally
vibes.
did complain.
I feel like when you call a podcast the check-in pod, it's the vibe pod, and we're giving it to you in vibes.
There's been vibes. There's been sexual
hella vibes.
harassment.
Whoa!
Just because you said booty one time does not mean that we did anything wrong.
Yeah, I was incriminating myself. I'm part of it with all of you guys.
Right.
I love you guys.
Mm-hmm.
No one ever says it back. Anyway.
Liana, what do you want to do?
I feel like you're leaning Carolyn.
I have no preference.
Because I on this podcast.
She did, but at the same time, it feels like Mark has a better chance of winning, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, how does Carolyn? I'm just
struggle.
nervous for Carolyn to recover from that move, but we've seen so much more Carolyn, which makes me feel like maybe she loses,
Yeah,
What,
like she just
Mark
doesn't
win?
just misses the mark.
Let us know. I don't want our team to be all men, so y'all
Who
pick
do you
Mark.
guys want?
You pick
Who do
Mark.
you guys? Oh, okay, yeah.
pick
So we
Mark.
should pick Mark then.
Although it would
Okay,
be
we'll
pretty
pick
on
Mark.
brand for me.
Okay. All right.
It would be
yeah.
because
Well,
Shannon,
well, you
we
guys
know.
can pick Raymond.
Shannon, we played them. We got to steal with Carolyn. There we go.
No, I wanted Mark.
I know you did, but I
Yay!
didn't.
No, Pooya, I wanted Mark. I think Mark. I think if we got Ferris and Mark, if with the final two, I think we have the two best shots to win. And now we don't have Mark. Can we have Mark? What do we have to give you?
No.
I'll cut my hair.
No,
But
I-
Shave your
give it
head.
trim.
No, not
you
no.
will not
Shave your
cut
hair
your
for
hair
Mark.
for this.
The
Shave your
split
head for
ends.
Mark.
Just cut the split ends off.
Yeah, I need a trim anyway. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
can I
Shave
just
your
give it-
head for
Add
Mark.
some layers. Yeah,
No.
shave your head, and then
Which
we'll give you
actually-
Mark
No,
right now.
Ooh,
Right now.
ooh. Let's add another
Come
clause
on.
to this. What if there's a grenade clause?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's gonna be Kirby
Yes.
because we freaking Chappelle is
yes.
here.
Yes.
Going home. She's not going home.
Well,
She's
you
not.
cursed her. You cursed her.
Oh,
You
I
grenade
love
cursed
it.
her.
I love it. Yes, there is
She's
a
not
great
going
clause. We
home.
added it after.
Kirby's not going home first. She's not going home first. She's not going
Chappelle,
home
why would
first.
Oh,
do
you
that?
ruined it for everybody, Chappelle.
Listen, I love a good clause. Okay, I'm sorry.
But
Santa.
now you need if Kirby. But if Kirby, but how
My
can there be a
partner did
grenade
not
clause?
agree to
Liana.
this. My partner
Clause.
did not even agree to this. We're not doing this.
Wait, how can there be a grenade clause? Because we both have two people. So if the other person
Because-
gives you the grenade, you're out. There's no way.
This is
Yeah.
foolish.
Yeah,
We're
that's
being
it.
foolish right now.
If
Yeah,
you
but if
pick the
you're
next
two-
boot, then your other person's out too. You cannot win.
That's very hard. I feel like that's very good
Yeah.
for us. I mean,
So
Ferris
if-
has an
so
idol,
if-
so I'm feeling great about that.
Fair to say,
But if
Final
Carolyn,
Five.
Yeah.
but if Carolyn goes, his idol doesn't
That's a
matter
good
to you
point.
anymore because he loses.
I don't think she is going. Like, why would she go at 5?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
We're in a very good spot, Puya.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
that's
we don't
why
have
Liana
Caroline.
didn't agree to this.
Chappelle.
Oh, we do have Caroline. I'm really.
Yeah,
this has been
no,
dumb.
but Liana
This
didn't even
is
agree to this.
stupid.
This was just a suggestion.
Yeah.
This
No
wasn't like set in
grenade.
stone.
Winner takes all. We have Ferris and Caroline. You fairly have Kirby and Mark. Taryn, Asia, Rob, and the audience have Raymond.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
All
we
those
get
tails?
Jonathan.
JLP.
You can't
For
take
what?
Yeah.
JLP.
Yeah, we
You
get
can't have
JLP.
JLP.
Why not?
Is-
Okay, fine. Then
You-
we draft the jury. Like
Right.
Oh yeah, enjoy Alex and yeah. there's
Don't
so
be
many other-
disrespectful to Alex.
Alex. You know what? Let me protect my peace.
No, what to
We
say?
like
He
Alex.
seems nice. He seems like he's nice and he's excited
Yeah.
to do pods. Let me keep my peace.
Yeah,
you know,
we like
He's
Alex.
great.
New gym.
Alex was fun.
Yes, underrated moment that we didn't talk about. Ferris handing Alex the idol and be like, "Look, you
Oh
found
my
this."
God.
Oh my
He's like-
god! In
He's
the
like,
shelter,
maybe
that's
rattle the
so
thing
funny.
and like I don't know, maybe look under there perhaps.
Yeah.
He's like, "This is
Ugh,
for you.
yeah.
You found this." He's like, "Oh, thanks. I did find this. Look at what I did."
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Tiffany could never.
I really thought in that moment, I was like, why are you giving him this idol? And then he still has the idol he had then.
Yeah.
So
he's
it's
crazy.
incredible.
I'm really happy.
Yeah.
about
I'm so
that.
happy we
How
got
did
him.
that work? Ugh.
I love the team win we're gonna have, and that's gonna count for me.
Oh,
And Puya
but
can't even
see,
be
the
mean
thing is,
about
this
it.
is not
We're
gonna
We
count.
together.
This is not
we
canon.
talked about the Chappelle grenade curse. I have Shannon who has the not allergic to winning
I can't.
curse.
Yeah, allergic to winning curse.
Get off my
Yeah.
podcast.
Shannon, no!
Friends, I threatened it for 2 hours.
It needed to happen.
Okay, for the people
Oh my God.
listening, I feel like this really needed to be a video podcast. I mean, Liana had a giant daddy fan, but for I removed Pooya from the stream for the people who.
Mhm.
who listened.
Yeah,
It was
no, I was
great.
kidding. All jokes aside, Shannon, it's my pleasure to carry you to victory. We're gonna do great.
Pooya, y'all
That's
should
what it's
draft the
gonna be?
person.
Huh?
Oh, never mind. I won't say that. It was mean spirited.
Yeah, you
Say it
why are you
again.
being mean to
Say
me?
it.
We're all friends here.
Yeah, that's what I'm not gonna say it. I was just gonna say y'all should draft the
Say
person
it.
voted out day 29. So then y'all would actually have a winner on your team.
That's funny. Actually, you should have said that. That would have been
No, that
hilarious.
wasn't-
Yeah,
That was
Yeah.
funny.
you know.
I did that on Twitter because you know they were doing like the winner and winner memes on Twitter,
Mhm.
and I did that with winner. I laughed for like 3 minutes when I thought of that. I was like,
Say it.
maybe winner,
Say them both. Say it again. Winner and winner.
winner and winner,
Winner. Say it. Winner.
winner.
Which one are you saying?
I'm saying both.
But which one is which? Winner. So who?
The first one
person
was
who,
winner. The second one
the
was
soul.
winner.
The second one was winner.
Winner.
No.
Yeah.
See, the sole survivor is the what?
The winner.
The winner, right? But he got voted out day 29.
I know, it's great. I'm glad that we've carried this through the whole time.
Because because
what are we doing here?
As a Texan, they both sound the same to me because I say them the same. That's the winner of the season.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, it was like it's the same thing. That's his name. He's the winner.
Yeah, is anyone doing it differently?
Pooya says
winner.
Pooya says
like winner.
Okay, so winner and winner. The winner.
Winner. Is that how you say winner usually? Like winner?
I don't know now.
No words make any sense anymore. Everything's lost its meaning to me.
Okay.
I try to avoid the hard R at all costs.
You know,
I'm the host, and I'm done. Chappell, give your plug so I can get off this podcast before I get fired or sued or canceled again. I just need you to please.
Okay. Well,
no one but Peter's gonna see this video. Let me be fair.
Yes,
no one
Peter.
else is getting this.
Oh, speaking of daddies, tell Peter I said hi. Okay, so yeah. Peter.
Is it Peter or Peter? Because those are different too.
Yeah, Peter
or Peter.
Peter. The guy from the Hunger Games, Peter.
Yeah, Peter. from the Cuddle Crew.
Peter. Yeah, Peter. Yeah.
Damien, Sarah, and Peter.
Who the hell is Damien? Okay.
Rob thought Tobias was Damien.
Yeah.
Why did he make that name up? Who is Damien?
I don't know.
I don't know why.
Who's Muffin? Okay.
Shannon, real quick, if you want to mess with Rob on the next time y'all catch up, just casually throw in, the Jeff Boot episode really changed things and see if he catches on. Because he does this sometimes on his own stuff with other people. Slip him up.
Yeah, he's been doing Seinfeld quotes for the whole season. That's great. That had upset him way more than the Taylor Swift album thing that I did that he didn't care about even remotely.
He did not care about it at all. I was dying laughing.
Well, okay, that's funny. So I'll be like, I'll just make up names and I'll be like, and then I'll ask for his take. Do you think he's listening to this?
No, he's not listening to this.
I think
you don't love us.
Yeah. No. Hopefully he doesn't, because that's great. And I'm going to do it. All right, Chappell plugs. What are you doing?
Okay. So I have a podcast called Recap Kickback. You can follow it on all social media platforms at Recap Kickback, and you can subscribe to the podcast at recapkickback.com. It's literally a podcast where I talk about whatever I want, and I talk about television shows that I want to, and I have guests that I want, and I just do stuff, and I'm just vibing over there. So yeah, come check it out. That's because that's my thing, right? But in other places, I'm on RHAP talking about various other shows. I have a Survivor podcast too, Shannon. It's called Club Condo. Yeah, well, it just started. You know, unlike you, I haven't been doing this for 12, 13 seasons and just been avoiding Chappelle, but whatever. So, 12, 13 seasons, well, you know, I would never know. So anyway, third episode of Club Condo coming up soon. It's going to be a great time. So check that out. It's me and Rob. It's shenanigans. It's foolishness. There's no seriousness over there at all. I don't know what we're going to talk about on this episode of Club Condo because it's a lot, but also not a lot. So check that out on RHAP. I'm still covering Below Deck on RHAP with Sasha every week on Wednesdays at whatever. At 2ish, we're talking about Below Deck, so check that out. And then just follow me on Twitter at Recap Kickback to keep up with all the stuff I have going on. That's it. Not too many plugs.
Yeah, Liana, tell the people.
Okay,
Dondi.
Well,
also Dondi.
Obviously,
yell Dondi now at random in the middle of the night while you're asleep. Dondi.
Listen, Boston Rob is on Deal or No Deal Island, and we're talking about it this season. Rob and I are doing it with Jenny on the Hit or Quit podcast. I'm the special guest, and I'm doing extra interviews as well. Just check it out.
Amazing. Yeah.
Well, I also have my own Survivor podcast.
Yeah.
With Micah Bloom. We have Kevin Jacobs on as our guest this week to talk about episode 3. Super excited. Yes, talk about a daddy. And then Drag Race is going strong. I'm still talking about season 16 of Drag Race. Pooya and I are covering Masked Singer, so we have to record that tomorrow. And then I was actually a guest on the Traders Feedback show to close out the US season, but I'm sure Pooya can tell you all about that.
Yes. I have a wife who has a Survivor podcast. It's called the Survivor, the RHAP BMB. They have Kevin Jacobs on. I say this because I don't have a Survivor podcast on my own. And 90 Day Fiance, we just wrapped up the last season. We did the 2 tell-alls. Sasha Joseph joined me for that. New season coming this next week. So the Hot Mess Express truly never stops. Check that out. And like Liana mentioned, she did join me for the final feedback show for Traitors season 2. I also got to talk to Sandra Diaz Twine, which was absolutely amazing. Got to talk about her journey on on Traitors. It was amazing. It was surreal. It was a great hour. It was so good.
An hour.
Surreal was on last season of the Traitors.
Yeah. I because I had Sandra obviously for Blood versus Water. And
so y'all just be talking to Sandra like it's normal. Like it's just y'all just wake up.
No, it wasn't normal for me. I was in tears.
And I don't have a Survivor podcast.
Yes, King.
Yeah.
Who's going to bet their podcast?
You can find me on Twitter at Pooya. You can find me on twitch.tv/Pooya. That's where I am when I'm not podcasting. Streaming's fun. Have a good time there. Come check that out. Busy all the weekends. Yes.
Great stuff, guys. I have a Survivor podcast.
And Shannon, thanks for having us. This was very fun.
Thank you so much, Shannon.
Thank you, Shannon.
I'm so sad that it will never see the light of day. You know,
right?
This was for us.
Is this patron only or something? Yeah.
Not even that. Not even that. Don't let it get out. I'm gonna make some
Peter only. It's only for Peter's
Peter, yeah.
Peter wants to watch this. You don't think he has better things to do with his time?
No.
Yeah, my plug, Australian Survivor. US Survivor.
Good.
Talking tribal.
Excellent.
I'm on TV.
Recap.
On TV.
Star of television.
Television. Shannon.
You can catch her on the TV Guide.
You can't actually, it's digital. But that would be a description. Now I know. Wait, what if I do that thing with Rob? I prank Rob, and I'm like, the Layla boot, whatever.
No, Layla's too. You got to hit him with the John boot episode.
The John boot from last season. Yeah.
But what about the people who didn't listen to this / didn't get through it to fair, or it never gets released, and then they just thinking I'm an idiot. They don't realize I'm pranking him. They're like, you think there was a Jack on this?
Well, but okay.
They'll know you don't play around like that. They know you know your stuff.
Well,
I agree. Yeah, but also okay, how do we imagine that interaction is going to play out, right? You're like, hey, so what did you think about the John boot or whatever? What's he going to do? Like, he'll either ask you and then you have to figure something out.
No, he'll be like,
he'll answer. He'll be like, oh yeah, that was really wild.
He'll be like, yeah, it was fine.
That's
good. It's fine.
That's funny.
It's fine. It's good.
I'm gonna do it.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I love being evil.
Yay! What a rebel!
It'll be so rebellious. It'll be.
Welcome to Slytherin. I've been waiting on you to join.
I on all the tests, I'm like less than 1% Slytherin.
I know, but you just come on. The test can't tell you about you. Put the hat on.
No,
put the hat on.
Hermione energy, I feel in all these drafts, right?
Like, put the hat on. Pansy Parkins, come up. Put the hat on. Put the hat on.
Well, I'm gonna try, guys. I really enjoyed this so much. I had a lot of fun. I'm really glad that I got the B team in for this B.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It was great to get all of your thoughts on Australian Survivor. We went places. Thank you to everyone for listening, for getting through it. Thank you to our team behind the scenes, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Peace.